Hi, my name's Sarah. I'm in entrepreneurship class. I was just wondering if I could ask you a few questions.
Absolutely.
So, first off, what's your name?
Austin Grady.
And how has your day been so
It's
far?
been great.
What have you done so far?
I went to the Cal's career fair and went around looking for an internship for the summer.
How did that go?
It went well. Talked to a few people and got to know a good amount of the companies there.
And so, I take your major something agriculture. What is your major?
Yeah, my major is food and resource economics.
And when do you plan to graduate?
I plan on graduating in the fall of 18.
And what do you hope to do with that degree?
I hope to get a job somewhere in the agriculture field and somewhere where I can work outside.
Do you have a specific company in mind or not yet?
I do not have a specific company in mind yet.
Okay. So, did you get into UF as a freshman or did you transfer in?
Yes, I got in as a freshman.
So, you've never taken any classes at community college?
I have. I dual enrolled my senior year of high school and then in the summer before UF.
So, what community college did you go to in high school?
I went to Valencia.
So that's in Orlando?
Yes.
So, was there a big difference between, Valencia and UF? Was the classes, harder, easier?
Yeah, the classes were a lot easier.
And how many kids were, in your classes there?
It was 20, 25 kids in the class.
And then what about, your UF classes? How big are they?
Some are about the same, some are bigger with 40 or 50, and they're definitely a little bit harder.
So what was the hardest class that you think you took at Valencia?
The hardest class I took there was probably statistics.
And so you took that when you were a senior in high school?
Yes.
Was there anyone else that were in high school taking it as well, or was it all
No, I was the only one I knew that was taking it, but I had friends that were dual enrolling too.
So, do you think you're the only one who thought that class was hard, or did a lot of people think it was hard?
There was other people in the class that thought it was hard too.
So, how did you get through the class? Just looking into tutoring or anything?
No, I never looked into tutoring. I just did my best to get by.
So, did you ever go see the professor, or would they have TAs there?
No, they didn't have TAs. But I never talked to the professor either.
Oh, so did you end up doing well in the class?
Yeah, I did well in the class.
Okay, good. So, what about UF? What are some hard classes that you've taken at UF?
Some of the harder classes I've taken are the ones that I'm in for my major now, like a financial planning, agribusiness class.
What makes them difficult? Just is it a lot of math, or is it
a lot of math and
concepts?
There's a lot, I guess, more hands-on work and learning it on your own rather than a teacher teaching you everything. And
so, how do you do you study alone for these classes, or do you work in groups?
I like to work in groups. It depends on if I know people in the class or not, or if I need help studying for the class.
How did you meet the people that you study with?
I know them from fraternity, mostly fraternity brothers, and have connections through there.
So they're all the same. So did you ever look into any outside tutoring, pay for a service,
No,
Study Edge tutoring?
I've never done that.
Do you think it's too expensive, or what's or you just don't feel you need it?
I just don't feel like I need it.
Do you know if they offer it for those ag classes?
I know they do.
They do.
But
So have any of your fraternity brothers done it before?
yeah, some have done it before, but most of the time there's enough people in the classes to study together.
So have you ever gone to the TAs or professors at UF?
No.
Not even one time?
No.
Do you plan on in the future?
If I need to.
Gotcha. So how much do you think you'd be willing to pay for if you were to pay for tutoring? How much do you think what would be a fair price?
I think a fair price. I guess I don't know. Tutors get paid pretty well, so.
What would you be willing to pay?
Probably me willing to pay. I'm pretty cheap, so probably $10 an hour.
Do you think it depends on the class?
It might. I guess so. Depends on how hard the class might be.
And do you prefer being one-on-one with a tutor in the library somewhere? Would you prefer to be at home and do it over the internet? So FaceTime or Skype or something.
I'd rather be somewhere one-on-one where I can see the person. It's easier for me to study that way.
And do you prefer when you're in class taking notes or whatever? Do you write them, or do you type on your computer, or both, or?
I like to write them down.
But you don't prefer doing stuff over the
No, I won't
computer.
type it.
If you were to like record the tutoring, would that help you? Do you think?
It might. I don't know. It depends.
Like, do you think you'd go back and
easier.
like, would you go back and watch it if you could like record like the session?
Yeah, I guess if I could, it'd probably be easy. That'd be a different option way to learn stuff.
And if you had like the perfect ideal tutor, like what kind of qualities would they have?
Someone who's very calm and relaxing and knows what they're talking about and easy to get along with.
Would you prefer like male, female? Doesn't matter.
Female.
And do you think like, so let's say you go and you look for a tutor and like there's a website you go on. Do you think like an application process would help where you'd put in like, hi, my name's Austin, like I need help at this time tonight, like.
Yeah, it probably would.
And so like, do you usually do homework like, what time of day do you usually do homework?
Anytime, just depends when I'm working and when I have time to do it.
So do you think that's hard to find tutoring because of your job too? Like what kind of hours do you work?
Yeah, it's definitely hard to find tutoring because of my job. I work pretty much every day of the week and the time varies, so it's hard anywhere between a 4 or 8 hour shift.
So if you felt like you really needed tutoring, would it be more like at UF or like community college?
Definitely at UF.
So community college didn't feel like it was that much of a need?
No.
Have you heard of any like on-campus like tutoring places?
I've heard of them, but haven't really ever looked too much into them.
Has anyone like in your fraternity talked about it?
Not really. There's been some things mentioned between Study Edge and other things, but not many people really do it just because we have everyone to study together with.
So do you know if anyone else in the fraternity like tutors or like?
We do have one kid that will tutor kids if they need help. He's kind of in the position to help with all the academics and likes to tutor kids if they need help.
Is he also in the ag school too, or? Don't know.
He is not. I believe he is in the business school.
Okay, gotcha. So is there any other like classes that you felt like you might need tutoring in?
There was one class when I first started at UF. I was a transient student, so I took a few classes my first and second semester at Santa Fe as well. And one of the classes was my calculus class, and the teacher did not teach us very well. He wasn't very helpful with anything as far as the test.
Did everyone like feel like it was hard too?
Yeah, a lot of people in the class thought it was hard.
Did they end up like dropping?
I think a few did, but for the most part, everyone just tried to get through it.
So did you ever go to see him?
No, yeah. Well, I tried one time, but when I went in there and talked to him, he wasn't very helpful. He wasn't easy to talk to and get.
Did he like tell you like, oh, you learned this in your prereq?
Yeah, he'd just tell us that we learned it before and that we should know this kind of stuff by now, and I don't know, he was just difficult to.
He wouldn't like go through step by step like needed the help then.
No, not.
So that kind of like deferred you from like going and seeing
Right.
professors. So what do you think the difference was between Valencia and Santa Fe? Like, which one?
I don't think there was too much of a difference. I think Santa Fe, they may have made it a little bit more challenging just because they're so much closer to UF and try to prepare you more for that, whereas Valencia is just kind of a community college in the area that kind of just helps kids get through their 2 years to get wherever they want to go.
Is that one kind of paired up with UCF?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
But I don't know if UCF's academics are as
Yeah, they're not the
tough
same.
as. Because I also went to Santa Fe. I know they had like a lot of labs and stuff. So to get through like the homework and calculus, did you ever go to like the math lab or anything?
I did go a couple times, and I would do some homework there with someone if I needed to, but I didn't go there too often.
And were the tutors students, or were they like professors, or like people who have already graduated? Do you
They
remember?
had people that were working in there that had already graduated and kind of knew the classes. So you go in there for the class you need, and they would know the stuff and help you out if you had any questions.
And that was like more productive than meeting with the professor, like actually going into the lab and like having like showing the problem. They would actually like go through it step by step.
Yeah, it definitely was. They sit down and help you through it because there wasn't that many kids in there, and they'd take their time to help you out.
Did they have like the answers to the homework as well to make sure that you weren't like? Cause I know you like some homework you only get a certain amount of attempts or.
Yeah, they did.
know.
They had the answers and knew the answers to everything. Were very helpful.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. It was very helpful. So
You're welcome.
thank you.